Up, but we're all good now. Today we have a special guest, entrepreneur and mixologist, Trevor Frye is joining us. He's going to make us some cocktails and tell us about a fundraiser that he started to help the local restaurant and bar industry. Let me bring him on. Hello, Trevor.
Hey, how are you?
There we go. Now we have sounds. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. How are ya?
Doing as well as I think as I can, man. How about yourself?
I'm starting to get used to staying inside, I guess, staying in the house. I'd never stayed in my apartment. It's just, I always have to be out, Yeah. I'm sure that you do the same thing. It's just hard to stay put and not be able to see the excitement of the service industry. And I thrive on that kind of energy, and I know you do too.
Yeah, I mean, aside from it, being my job, I just love the interaction, like kind of like that buzz. Like you go into like your favorite place, and every time you go in, it's a little different, right? There's different people there. There's a different vibe going on, different energy. You never know who you're gonna run into. I think that's kind of the hardest part for a lot of people right now is just kind of dealing with that lack of actual human interaction. Not like you can do things like this, but like the being able to pick up on someone's energy and vibes and things like that, in person, it's real tough.
Yeah, that's so important for me. Like just as a ridiculous extrovert, I really feed off of others' energy. Yeah. And, as here in my house, like I'm so bored. I'm like kicking soccer balls. There's my bowl right there at my windows. And I've purchased a Nintendo Switch, which I have zero time to play usually, but since I have nothing to do but sit in the house at nights now, that's what I'm doing. Tell us a little bit.
I tried to avoid the video game. I used to be really big into video games in college, and it was like kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like if I like kind of opened that Pandora's box again, it would be trouble with all the time. So. I avoided that, but I figured out other ways to keep myself busy.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What you do?
I've been, DC native, was born and raised in the area. Been involved in the service industry here in DC for coming up on 10 years. But I've been in the service industry since I was 15. I started at a barbecue restaurant out in the suburbs. Worked through places throughout college. Clyde's Group, all that. Kind of went to a different field and then made my way back about 10 years ago. So it's in my blood. It's who I am. I love it. And about 6 years, 2020, 7 years ago, I started like a part-time consulting company called Washline LLC. To more or less help me manage some of the things I was doing outside of my everyday bartending. Whether it was helping people develop menus or actual consulting going in and like developing a bar program. It was just a way for me to kind of keep things organized. And then that kind of morphed into what I used to actually open some of my bars. And then once 501 closed, I just kind of shifted everything into doing the brand work, the consulting, with actual brick and mortar places, the education pieces and things like that. So, the last 3 years, that's been full time for me. But we do a little bit of everything. I always kind of laugh. I get kind of logged into the like enthusiast, educator, and expert. But I'm okay with that because I think all three of those things are pretty accurate. So I have clients now that I focus on doing more trade advocacy with, which is like getting into the on-premise and off-premise world, helping support accounts and helping them, continue their education throughout the spirits world, whether it's, non-alcoholic, beverages like Q or actual spirit things like J. Rieger and Sazerac. So that's what I do now. My travel is usually pretty insane. So for me, this quarantine has been kind of refreshing, to be honest, because I get to see my fiance a lot more than I did. So I'm trying to see the silver lining there. I'm sure she's like ready for me to like get on that first flight. But as someone that's like chased medallion statuses with the airlines for so long, it's like very weird to like, I haven't opened my Delta app in like, 8 weeks? And it's very strange.
Today, Muriel Bowser, Mayor of DC, extended our lockdown to June 8th.
Right.
Currently, there's what I think to be over 55,000 service industry people that don't have jobs.
Yeah.
Is that a good estimate? I think that's what I heard at the beginning.
Yeah, I think you're maybe a little low. I think it's closer to 65, 70.
Okay.
That metric kind of comes from like when the wharf, like the phase one of the wharf opened, and it created about 700 new jobs in the industry. That was equated to about 10%. So,
okay.
Kind of look at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, all the people that usually work at the ballpark too.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's tough because you look at this. It's such a wide encompassing industry, right? You have you have the ballparks, you have the convention centers, you have the hotels, and then you have the independent restaurants, you have the big chains. It really does. It's a very, very wide casted net there, and it was just pretty. I hate the term unprecedented. I think it's been kind of like damned, but it was an unprecedented, like, just halt to an industry. Like, boom, one day you're rocking, and the next day you are just zero. And so I think, seeing people kind of adjust and figure out, hey, can I do some form of, the options that are available, whether it's takeout or delivery, I think has been pretty interesting. I think you're seeing, we all hope this doesn't happen again, but I think that there's at least the framework starting to get there. But like, hey, if we do face this again, we know what we have to do, right? Like,
yeah, we figured it out.
Shutter, let's all gather, not try and jump right into like. So I think for me, in noticing, like, my job is to go around and help people, but I also, I'm a judge for a lot of like the awards, Spirit Awards and Tales, and best bars and all that. So I inherently, it's always in the back of my head. I'm going in and I'm kind of like seeing things. I'm like, oh, that's great. Or they can do a little better. And you see some of the places that it was so shocking to everyone. Everyone was so scared, right?
Yes.
They tried to jump into something almost a little unprepared. And I think the lesson there is it's like next time if anything like this happens, to just take a day or two and like really think about it, because when all of a sudden every place is a delivery place or a takeout place, and people just normally just don't realize that like all the things that people are juggling to try and make that happen, and they're like, oh, well, this person, it took 45 minutes longer to get my food, like I'm never gonna go back to them again. And like,
yeah, we got to be careful with that, right?
It's really hard, because like everyone's trying, and like you would, most places that are primarily like dine in, they would do about 15% takeout or if they do offer delivery that way. And now to go to like 100%, like that whole paradigm shift is huge, and it's really, really tough to look at your business model and just like flip it on its head and be like, oh, all my profit margins are now skewed. I have to take on additional costs of like takeout stuff, gloves, the mask, all these things. And so I think the one big takeaway from the restaurant side is to like take a deep breath next time, like in a couple days, to like really think about how to pivot into this, takeout and delivery world is not going to kill you. But also from the consumer side, is it's like, I know everyone's kind of high strung right now, but like take it easy a little bit and realize that people are doing the best that they can and they're working their asses off, given the guidelines that they're given.
Correct. Don't rush to Yelp to complain about a restaurant that took too long to get you your food. It's not their fault. They're using a lot of different delivery services, and you made a good point. The business model has changed. If their business model was that we're going to do 15% of our business in takeout, then they've already done the numbers for 15%, right? If we're going to 100%, then everything that they've put in their budget is now wrong, because if they're trying to get a 14% liquor cost and they're sending out liquor drinks, but then Uber is charging them 30% on top of that, then it's like, now are we making money? Like, how much of a profit are we doing off of our drinks or our food or any of that?
Yeah, I mean, that used to be the big trade-off. And I think what you're seeing is, with this cap that was put in place on exactly what those fees are, as someone that used to run a bar, is like, I would pay that fee for the 15% of my business because it's probably reaching an audience that I wasn't reaching myself. So like, that's almost like marketing dollars to me. It's like, fine, whatever.
The purpose.
But now when you take up the other 85% of my business, that's just not realistic. And I thought it was actually very disingenuous how some of those apps and companies went about even marketing and being like, we can help, save the restaurant industry, when it's like, no, like right now, like you're crippling. And so I was really glad that local government started to step in and say, no, like you are limiting this fee, and not just limiting the fee, but you cannot change the way that you compensate your delivery drivers as well. So I think that was really good. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a brave new world we're in, and so people have to, be a little patient and understanding, and be like, all right, well, let's figure it out.
You started a fundraiser that I have an enormous amount of respect for you, because I would say a good 80% of my friends all work in the service industry, because that's where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people really struggling out there. And I even know some people that still haven't even gotten their first unemployment check after being laid off, because of the way that our systems are set up, and how many parts of DC's websites were kicking back saying, well, we need to know, which jobs you applied for. People are like, we don't know what to fill out. But you started a fundraiser, and I'd love you to tell us about that.
Yeah. So to that point, so when this whole thing came about, the first thing I thought was, oh shit, like if 99% of the industry is going to rely on like government websites and programs in order to like continue to live and like pay their bills, like it's going to be a problem. Like anyone that's dealt, and it's not, it's not completely the local government's fault. It's just that like mostly a lot of times they're understaffed, or their technology isn't up to date, or whatever. But in this case, you have a lot of people using a program like unemployment that have never had to deal with it before. So they aren't very familiar with the process of like what forms to fill out and what boxes to check and things like that. And because of the way that compensation is in the service industry, a lot of them didn't have that like second and third paycheck coming from the weeks before to give them like the cushion. So, I saw a lot of people like freaking out immediately, and it was, very warranted. So for me, my immediate thought was, listen, I'm very fortunate in my life right now, and I wanted to be able to try and help. And I thought of like the biggest things that were going to be at a loss kind of from this. And the first one is being like that interaction, right? Like we were talking about earlier, the seeing a regular come into your bar, seeing your favorite bartender, and like interacting with the folks at the bar. Like we're losing that. And it's not because we're choosing to, it was kind of forced upon us. So I wanted to build a way to keep that connected. And that was kind of the first phase of it. And then the second phase was, how do we as an industry, who are always kind of putting ourselves second, it's everyone kind of, equates in hospitality as like, the customer's always right, the customer comes first, or whatever it might be. But how could we now, our hand is almost forced out to ask for help, but how do we say thank you? And so I wanted to build that into it as well. And so what I came to was I designed a shirt. And as the alcohol rules were changing, I worked with my lawyer, and I was like, all right, like, this is what we want to do. We would normally kind of be like, throw around on a comp tab for a regular as like a thank you or whatever. But how can we work with this? So I designed a t-shirt. We worked with local businesses here. And it's got a little DC flag that I use for my company, but it's a DC flag that's kind of been converted into music bars. And yep, there it is.
Make sure that I can get it in there. Here we go.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll see like there are music bars. The stars are the whole notes, and there's quarter notes, and there's a quarter note for each quadrant, which is why there's 4, and then the middle ones are on the D and C of the bass clef. So I've had that design for a while, and quite frankly, it's the only one that I own the rights to. And then there's a quote on the back that says "Get together one more time," and that's actually from a Doors song called 5 to 1, which my bar was named after. But it seemed really fitting in this moment. It's very simple. But it really is just like, that's all we want, right? Like we just want to see each other again. We want to get together one more time. So the idea was, let's get these shirts. Anyone in the restaurant and bar industry was eligible to sign up for it. And when you sign up, you get like a custom link, and we built an online marketplace. We announced it. We had it translated to Spanish and sign language so we could get it to as many people as possible, front of the house, back of the house. And you just kind of shared it with the people that you would normally see, whether it was on social media or shooting it through text messages or WhatsApp or whatever. And then any shirt that's bought through your custom link, the shirts are $32. Any shirt that's bought, you get $20 right away. And then the rest of that would go into keeping the business sustained, because as you know, because you got it today, we send like what we would normally thank you with as like our comp tab. You get two, we say spirited thank yous, as a way to kind of like do what we're not able to do, which is like we want to serve you drinks. And then, so yeah, that the extra $12 goes to keeping all of those ingredients in stock so we can deliver them and things like that. And then there's a general site that I put out. So any shirt that's bought through that general site, that $20 is split up amongst the entire group of people that are participating.
Wow.
So it's nice, yeah. Today.
What is that link? In case they don't get a link from their favorite bartenders, where do they go to buy on the general? Yeah, so the whole program is called Bear Solidarity T-shirt. So Bear being bar and restaurant employees, and then solidaritytshirt.com. I can shoot it over to you if you want to put it up. Yeah, can you spell it? What's that? It's www.bare. B-A-R-E? Yep. SOLIDARITSHIRT.com. Let's see if I got that right. Let me know if that's right. You got it. All right, great. So yeah, we started by selling the shirts, and it was great. We raised almost $5,000 in 6 weeks that we've been doing this, and that's gone straight to the bartenders and servers and whoever. Now, what we do, because we kind of wanted to make this, full circle here, when we buy those ingredients for the spirited thank yous, we're actually going and purchasing them from local independent restaurants and bars. So we're actually giving some of that money back into the community and those people that are open as well. And obviously, we always buy food, and then we can buy the ingredients for it as a way to kind of. And we've spent another $2,000 at local bars and restaurants that way as well, because we want to support with that. So it's been great. We've sold through over 200 shirts. So the design that you have, we only have mediums and larges left, and I put those on sale. And then we're going to have a new design come out once those are done to kind of, give people like, oh, hey, maybe I got this one, I want another one, or you can, check it out. And then you also have the option to buy a sticker. So the flag that you see that was on the shirt, we make stickers because we had a ton of people that were like, oh my God, this is great. We want to keep supporting. How do we keep supporting? I don't need 100 of these T-shirts. So if you buy a sticker, which is $10, all $10 goes to the rest of the bar and restaurant employees, and then you get one of those spirited thank yous that comes along with that. So it's been really great. Honestly, like I make all the deliveries. I'm running this operation kind of like out of the basement of my in-laws right now, which is great because. And that's all you have to do to be a part of this. Which is the other thing is like you just have to sign up, and you get a link, and you can either share it as much as you want or as little as you want. It doesn't matter. We don't pressure. We're not like pinging them. I send their payments to them every Monday, and that's the only communication I have outside of like the full transparency of like, hey, this is what we sold. If you get a referral, we'll tell you like, who it's for. But that way, no one has to like put themselves at risk. I go out in a mask and gloves and whatever, and I go and deliver them. And it's honestly kept me like I do a lot of it on my bike or rucking or whatever, so it gets me out of the house a little bit, which Kate's probably pretty happy about because definitely. I'm kind of like you. I'm like such a bundle of energy, and like I feel like I'm trapped in a cage sometimes. She's like, get out. Yeah, she's like, hey, how many deliveries do you have today? And I'm like, only 9. She's like, why don't you bike this? Like, yeah. You're a good guy for doing this, Trevor. Much respect. Thank you so much. And I know that all of our friends also thank you. Definitely. I hear that we have some cocktails today. Yeah. So let's crack some of those open. All right. So let's see. I have this one is called Southside.
Yeah. So this is a great cocktail. It's super simple to make. It's in essence a gin sour that has mint in it. So think of it like a gin mojito almost. So we're using the continent, dump it all in. So
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So we're using Cotton and Reed. They make, it's called In the Heat of the Moment mix, and it's an all natural shelf stable mojito mix. So it's a mint sour mix. But instead of using rum, in your case, I used vodka. And I just get topped that with club soda. So super refreshing. A day like today, it's fantastic, especially you got Q club soda there, which is super carbonated. There's a little bit of salt in it as well. And you have your Southside there, which again, garnish that with mint, which like you said, and boom, nailed it.
That's what I'm talking about. What time is it? I can drink now, right?
Yeah, it's almost 2 a.m. But I do feel like it's funny. I laughed at some. It's like during quarantine, it's like airport rules. It's like, doesn't matter what time of the day it is. Like you can have a cocktail, you can have a double, like whatever. Like, you know, I miss it. Like I fly all the time, and I always love like walking in at like 6 a.m. at DCA.
Yeah. I get your bloody.
Yeah, and the question's always like, "Do you want a double?" And the guy's always like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I'm like, just like
it ends up being $30 or something. Yeah, but yeah,
I want $5 for 4 ounces of vodka at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's great. Only in an airport.
What is this?
So that's a double barrel Manhattan. So this is probably my favorite Manhattan variation. So this recipe came out of the admin era. And this was supposed to be like an aperitif or digestif Manhattan. So it's Buffalo Trace bourbon.
I'm going to get a glass.
Yeah. And that can be served either up or on the rocks, doesn't matter. But Buffalo Trace bourbon, and then it's a perfect Manhattan. So that means there's sweet and dry vermouth, but it's also heavily bitter. So you have 4 dashes of orange bitters. You have 4 dashes of Redbeard aromatic bitters made by Lucas over at Cotton and Reed. Dolan dry vermouth, 1 part, and then a split base of Coqui Torino and Carpano Antica, sweet vermouth, and then Buffalo Trace bourbon. So
you're not messing around with the quality of products that you're putting.
No, man. I mean, listen, and it's pre-diluted and it's chilled and it's ready to go. Like there's no stirring. We don't, everyone's at their house. We don't know what kind of tools people have and don't have. So yeah, I'm telling you, man, that is such a good Manhattan variation. I love it. Any program that I'm involved with, I put that on there because it's such a distinguishing way to serve a Manhattan. I've never served that cocktail to someone and like had it been like sent back.
Love it.
We've done everything, man. We've done espresso martinis. We've done like mother-in-laws. We've done Negronis. We've done Bombardiers. We've done martinis, and it's been awesome to see like. And then people get on, social media and they're like, oh, and they're like, post it. And it's been really, really, really amazing to see how generous people have been when it comes to showing support for people who've been forced out of work. I mean, it's like I said, like, people want to get back to work. They just can't do it. And they can't do it safely. So we're going to keep rocking and rolling as long as, the orders keep coming in. We're going to, keep trying to get creative with it. But yeah, like I said, anything that you can do to support, especially your local neighborhood places, your independently owned restaurants. If you can, get it takeout as opposed to delivery, and the weather's nice, you can do it safely. You can help kind of keep those costs down. But if not, just keep ordering away.
I appreciate you so much. People are struggling out there, and you might think the unemployment is enough, but I don't know what the number is. I think it's 4 something, right? A week.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like I said, I'm very lucky in the sense that, even though I would technically be eligible for it, like I'm not in a position that I need it. So I just kind of wanted to, keep as much, into the folks that do.
Well, yeah.
But what's shocking to me is like, with this government added $600 a week, it's like, that is, I think it works out to like just under $32,000 a year if you got it every week,
Yeah, think about that.
That makes such a big difference for folks who are like, who literally went from, making a good living, wage to tips are gone. So, it's impacting everyone, differently. And that's what's also been hard, is especially in the industry. Like, we've lost some people in the industry to COVID-19, both younger, older, whatever. And so it's really, really tough. And especially for folks like us that thrive on that connection, it can get to a very kind of dark place by yourself. So we're just trying to keep the spirit up. We're trying to do as much as we can. Like I said, no one's getting rich off of these t-shirt sales, but 50, 60, $70 a week, it helps pay some bills, maybe some of the smaller ones, or pay for groceries or whatever. We're just trying to keep some cash coming in for them. Yeah, man, it's very, like I said, very generous folks like you and everyone else that keep it rocking and rolling. So
thanks so much, man. Really, really appreciate it. I'm going to spread the word to some of my favorite bartenders to make sure that they know what's going on as well. Can't wait to see you on the other side of this.
It's going to be great. I just real quick, Mark, I noticed it earlier today. I just want to give a just wholehearted, love you and thinking of you to Kevin Murphy. He's a friend of both the bars. He lost his brother. Such a great guy, and would really give you the shirt off his back. So just want to say I love you, Kevin. We're all thinking of you. He's definitely one of those folks we talked about that you'd love to see, smiling face come in. So, definitely sending out that positive energy and love to him and his family right now.
Yeah, Murph's great. He's a fixture in the industry and a very good investment person over at Merrill Lynch as well. So he has a lot of things that's on his plate right now. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm Mark Rutstein with the Rutstein Group. We are your local real estate agents with Compass. And today we were doing a community check-in with Trevor Frye. Have a great day, everyone.